Hey everyone, welcome back. I wanted to take this opportunity to talk about our trip to Pennhurst. It was an experience. We had a lot of fun, met lots of people. Um, Pennhurst, also known as Pennhurst State School and Hospital, it was built to house people with disabilities, probably people that were on the spectrum. And one of the tour guys brought to our attention that while we're, ghost hunting and investigating, if we hear a moan or a groan or a grumble, possibly something that might be considered a growl, to think about the fact that some of the patients that were there were probably nonverbal, and the only way they could communicate is through sounds. And that was kind of like eye-opening for us, because we don't think about the human part of ghost hunting. We just kind of think about the scary part of it, I guess, things that are going to scare us, and not just the human factor of it all. So that was really interesting. There were a lot of people that were investigating with us, so it was kind of hard to just maybe like people that see shadows or maybe hear something audibly. There was so much going on and so many people that was a little more difficult. So it was more about feeling the energy and what information we gathered from that energy. I did have my light EMF box, so if any energy came and touched it, it would light up. And it did that a lot. A lot of people had those. Some people had the ghost box that would talk to you. It goes scans through the different radio waves and picks up voices and sounds and words. Those were really interesting. A lot of people would gather in very popular areas and do sessions, and so a lot of people would congregate to those. Some people would go off into other rooms and have their own investigations and sessions, and so we would try to just find rooms that were empty. And I personally seek out those rooms because it makes me wonder, why aren't people going in those rooms? And when you walk into those rooms, you feel a heaviness. And to me, the only way I can describe a heaviness, if you've never experienced it, if you live in the South or you have visited the South in the summer, we have heat and we have humidity. And those two things combined, when you walk outside, it is a stuffiness that is almost suffocating. And it's like you could literally just cut through the heat with a knife. That's how I would describe heavy energy, just minus the heat. But it's like this stuffiness that you just feel all around you. And so when you sit with that, what I felt from those rooms is just that the energy is just stagnant. It's just built up time and time, over decades, and nobody's cleared it out. So it is like a closet. It just keeps gathering and gathering and gathering like dust. So I would clear out those rooms. Then there were other rooms that I would get a little anxious and like a tinge of like, I'm kind of scared. But when I sat with it, and what I would like to help other people do is to really, like, when you feel those feelings or those emotions, is to train yourself to stop in that moment. Think about where you're at. Think about who was in those buildings. So again, these patients that were placed there probably against their free will. So they were scared and anxious about what's going to happen to them. So when I thought about that, it wasn't me actually feeling those feelings. I was feeling what they probably felt when they were there. So that's another thing to think about when you're ghost hunting, is moments when you start getting anxious or afraid, maybe it's really not you. Maybe you're picking up what other people felt when they were alive in that time and in that space. So that's really something that I would like more people to, I guess, be conscious of and help train yourself to do that. We went to the infirmary, and that's where people with tuberculosis would go. There was a men's ward and a female ward, and that in itself was very stuffy, very heavy. And in those moments, I feel like when it's really, really thick, like heavy, and when you think about it, people with tuberculosis, and it's an infirmary, there's nothing but sickness going through that building. So the energy of being sick and sickness is pretty thick. And if you don't clear it out, it can get overwhelming. And in that building, when I stepped in, I got almost like a dizzy feeling. Like when you step in and it's just like you're standing still, but you feel like you're like spinning, not crazy fast, but just enough to like, whoa, there's something here. And so again, like when I sat with that, it's like, okay, well, there was tuberculosis, that's a big one already. And then in general, if anybody was sick, they would have to go to this building. So I definitely walked through and was helping clear out the energy on that one. And that was like one of my main goals, was just to help clear out stagnant energy from these buildings, and also to help any spirits or energy that didn't want to be there anymore and wanted to cross over, but maybe didn't know how. So I helped those spirits. And then I also offered healing to the spirits and energies of the people that, if they were not of sound mind when they were alive, then chances are when they passed away, they might still be in that mindset. So I offered healing to help clear their mind, and then they could decide if they wanted to go into the light or not. And a message I got when I was talking to them, and again, I'm just saying this, I'm just talking to them in my mind. We're walking around, my husband's got his camera, I've got my little machine, and again, there's people everywhere. I'm just in my mind having a conversation. I wasn't verbally talking out loud to these, because honestly, I think some of the ghost hunters would not like what I was trying to do. But the message I got from some of the spirits is that they wanted to stay so that they could give evidence to these people that were ghost hunting. Because if these people are getting evidence, then it makes them wonder and think maybe there is life after we pass on. Now, me personally, I already know there is, so I don't need evidence to believe that. But for others, this evidence is life-changing. And so the spirits want to be a part of that and help these other people possibly believe in this. So they want to stay and help, and talk through the ghost box or make the cat ball light up or whatever the equipment is. They want to stay and help those people. But it's almost like the people need the evidence to believe in. So yeah, that was really interesting. Because a lot of times, I'd watch these ghost shows and I'm like, well, why don't they just help them cross over? Like, why can't you just do that? Well, in a way, some of them do just need help crossing over. They just want somebody to tell them to cross over, but others don't want to cross over because of something that they want to stay here and maybe help humans, help family or even strangers, especially with ghost hunting. So that was really cool. But we also got to spend time with a lot of ghost hunters, celebrities. two of which being our favorites, Brian and Rochelle from the newer Ghost Hunters season. We met them in 2023 at the New Jersey Para-Unity Expo, and we just fell in love with them. They are fun. They are down to earth. But this year we also got to meet Katrina. She signed that for us. Back in 2023 when we went to Paris, we met Project Fear, so we met those guys. And then Steve Gonsalves. So we also met before, and this time Ghost Brothers. So Dalen, Marcus, and Jawan, they're always fun. Like, they are also down to earth and really, really fun. And then we also met Jay Wasley from Ghost Adventures, and so that was really neat. But yeah, so that was our experience over the weekend, Friday and Saturday. We went to the Philadelphia Zoo on Sunday because there are at least two buildings there that are haunted. One you cannot go to, the Solitude House, but the other is where the primates are. And it was like, as soon as I walked in that building, again, like the thickness and then like the slight dizziness, that was crazy. I didn't expect that, but so I cleared that energy out. But anyways, I hope you guys find this useful, entertaining to say the least. But again, if you go ghost hunting or investigating and you start feeling the thickness, the heaviness, or different emotions, stop and think, is it me? Am I feeling this? And then, if you know, like, I'm actually having a good time, I'm having fun, then it's probably emotions from a spirit or the building. And I say probably 90% of the time it's not you. It's really not you when you are intentionally ghost hunting or investigating. But yeah, anyways, I hope you guys enjoy. Until next time, see you later.